Welcome, kings and queens. Meet Candace Patrice, a powerhouse entrepreneur who defied the odds to build her empire while mastering the art of motherhood. From Essence magazine features to the helm of fancy freelancers, she's not just a business maven, she is a force of nature. So get ready for a journey filled with resilience, hopefully a little bit of laughter, and the secrets to conquering all. Fun fact, she's also my cousin. So welcome, Candace. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I definitely appreciate it's an honor to be on your podcast.
Thank you, thank you. All honor is all mine. Honor is all mine. All right, let's dive into it. So, can you
Okay.
take us through your journey from graduating with a BA in business and communications to becoming an owner of Fancy Freelancers, a virtual assistant agency?
Okay. So I graduated in I want to say 15 from the University of Phoenix. And I wanted to go into broadcasting, believe it or not. I was like, I'm just going to go to the news station. I'm just going to go into broadcasting. So I put in a couple of applications and they never called me. I was like, I'm awesome. Why won't they call me? Right? Like, this is odd. This is weird. So I'm like, okay, moving right on along. So fast forward, I ended up going to Drive Time, which is a car dealership. They're nationwide. And believe it or not, I had to have a bachelor's degree to be on the sales floor.
Okay.
And most people was like, you had to have a bachelor's degree to sell cars. You absolutely did at that time. I don't
Okay.
know if they're loosening up their policies now, but then everyone had to have one.
Mhm.
So I worked there for a few years. I loved it.
Okay.
And hated it at the same time. It was a love-hate relationship because money was great. Like tax time, like right now, time of the year because you go sell 3 or 4 cars. You get paid. We got paid like $350 a car. We got paid, a decent wage per hour. So it wasn't like we were commission only.
Oh,
We
great.
got a regular paycheck plus commission. So it was awesome.
Okay.
But the hours was long. I mean,
Yeah.
you had to work all day. You had no time to actually enjoy the money you were making.
Right.
You had to make online orders for everything.
Right.
So it was hard. It was hard, but at times I questioned why I was there because it would be so cold, like it is now, frigid, like Arctic.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to be outside. My hands are so cold. This is insane. I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
And I remember asking God, like, why am I here in this moment? Like, why do you have me here? Can I be somewhere else? What is going on here? And so I eventually left after a
Okay.
few years and I went into insurance. And I was insurance for a few months and I said, yeah, I don't want to be here either. And I remember telling the guy who hired me, he owned this insurance agency, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna quit. He was like, and do what? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm quitting. He was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And I was like, I'll figure it out. And
Mhm.
he was like, well, how about I get you another job? I give you another job. And I was like, another job doing what? So he was like, would you like to be the manager? And I was like, yes. Can I tell
Oh.
everybody what to do? He was like, yeah. I was like, bet. I want to tell everybody what to do. So that's right up my alley.
He clearly didn't want to let you
So
go.
he didn't. He did
Mhm.
not. And I asked them, why did you do that? And he was like, well, everyone that I talk to, I see their abilities, I see their skill sets, I see their strengths,
Mhm.
and I never forgot that. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so you saw that I was a leader? And he was like, yep. And
Ni-
he was like, so be my right hand. And I was like, bet.
Nice.
I was like, can I have an office? And he was like, yeah. I was like, is somebody in the office? Can I go kick him out? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, on the way. That I did. I was like, so you need to move your stuff, into onto that desk on the floor.
Mhm.
This is my office now. So yeah, so I was happy. I was super happy. And it was short lived though, because about maybe a month later, that's when my youngest daughter was diagnosed with the brain tumor. So the day she was diagnosed was the day that I I quit. I never went back.
Okay.
I didn't even we went once we went to the hospital that night and they told us that she had the tumor and that we were becoming a St. Jude family overnight. It was so heavy and I was just I don't even think I ever went back to get any of my stuff.
Okay.
So we just immediately went to the hospital and we stayed there for months on end. We went through radiation, we went through so many different tests, so many different doctors, all day long, weeks and weeks and weeks. And so at that time, I I almost really lost myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. I had no money. I remember calling one of my other cousins and asking for send me some money, send me a couple dollars. Like a sister is on zero. I was counting quarters. I
Yeah.
was just like, at the bottom of the barrel, at the bottom of the barrel. It really couldn't get any worse. And at that point, um, I had to figure it out.
Mhm.
And I just didn't know what to do. So I remember one night I prayed about it.
Mhm.
And I had the feeling that God was trying to tell me something. And I said, okay, I'm going to send my kids over to my parents and I'm going to lock myself in the bedroom. I got to see what's happening.
Okay.
And that very night, I got a pen, I got a paper, I shut the door, and it was spilled out.
Wow.
Fancy Freelancers was born that night.
Wow.
God gave me everything. I wrote to the point where my hand was hurting. It was in pain. I wrote out so much of the vision that he was giving me. So I built the website in 30 days and I launched it on my birthday. And that was October the 9th in 2019.
Okay.
And I launched on my birthday and I was like, oh, it's out there. Now what? And of course, when you're on the journey, you don't know the end. You just
Right.
know the beginning because you're only given a few steps and you have to start walking in the journey
Yes.
in order to get the rest of the steps revealed,
Mm.
right? So I was like, hey, I'm ready to make money.
Right.
So I remember making my first $100 on Upwork. And that's really how Fancy Freelancers was born.
How long between that initial launch and then your first commission or the first money that came in? How long was it?
2 months.
2 months. Okay.
It's 2 months. I made $100, and you would have thought I had a $10,000 check. I was jumping up and down. I was like, I made $100. Can you see I made $100 on my own? I was so excited
Mhm.
and ecstatic. I was celebrating, I was popping champagne. I mean, hey, I was doing it big at that time.
Yeah.
Remember, I ain't had but a couple of quarters, so.
Exactly. Now, not to leave the viewers hanging, how's your daughter doing now?
She's doing much better. I did take her out of school and I homeschooled her for a few years, and she has went back to school now. So she's in the 5th grade. She is doing very well. She should be graduating the 5th grade in May of this year and onward to middle school. So yeah, we're hanging in there. It hasn't been easy. I can't say that, but it will be 5 years next month. But it has not been easy. It has been one of the most difficult challenges in my life, but I wouldn't change it for the world. We went through a lot, but we're a lot closer. She's doing a lot better, and I'm able to take care of her from home when she's not feeling her best,
Mhm.
and I'm able to support her when she is feeling her best.
Right. That's great. That's great. Can we elaborate more and can you share about the services you offer and how they can benefit businesses and individuals as well?
Sure. So we are a virtual assistant agency where we offer administrative, technical, and operational support. We work with small businesses, mid-sized businesses, and also corporations. Some of the tasks that we offer could be email management, could be email marketing, could be social media marketing, social media management, could be research. the tasks are unlimited. Think of it as a personal assistant
Mhm.
or a right hand assistant, because we also offer personal assistant services. Sometimes the entrepreneurs are so busy they want someone to make appointments for them. Could be dentist, could be doctor, could
Right.
be dog grooming. I mean, you name it, we've actually done it.
Mhm.
So as far as individuals, if you are a solo entrepreneur and you feel that you are growing in your business where you need some support, where you're just kind of getting overwhelmed or you're kind of getting frustrated,
Mhm.
then you definitely can bring on a virtual assistant to help alleviate that. Or if you are a solo entrepreneur and you're busy with your clients, you need lead generation. You need someone to go and get leads and bring them back, and perhaps you wanted to close those leads. So therefore, you're not on the hunt. You're not doing all of the marketing itself. So there's a lot of different situations where individuals can benefit from our services, as well as the businesses who are needing operational support. Maybe they need someone to man the phones, and maybe they don't want to pay somebody 8 hours a day to do 4 hours of work, because we know in corporations there is not one soul, and I said it, that works the whole 8 hours of an 8 hour shift.
Mhm.
So here with a virtual assistant, you pay what you get for. We do the task for you. You want this done, let me know when it needs to be done. You want it done by Friday, it'll be done by Friday.
Mhm.
1 hour, put it on the clock, you can see that, and it's done. So we kind of provide a more cost effective way for small businesses and mid-sized businesses plus corporations to watch their dollars a little bit more closer and get more value out of their workers.
Okay. Now, as far as AI or artificial intelligence, I'm sure you use tools to help your business, but there's a lot of tools that are out there that almost compete and can do the same task that you're doing as well. Do you see that you're kind of having to tell small business, medium, or corporations, well, this is more hands-on, and this is I can this is peer to peer and not just like peer to computer or whatever the case might be, a lack of a better term. Is there arguments back and forth, or is there you trying to sell yourself opposed to using those softwares, or are you using the software yourself and able to assist the business as well?
We would never be out of business, and somebody has to run the AI doesn't run by itself, so someone has to take the time to tell AI what to do, and then take the time to connect whatever needs to be connected to make whatever happen. So my positioning, or our positioning, is more so saving time,
Okay.
so they can do everything by themselves, which they will still end up in the same places turning in circles.
Mhm.
The point is to get them out of the loop of the
Right.
circle and into the impact of being a CEO.
Right.
If they want to market and do all marketing and say, I'm going to be the face of the business, then I want to be live more. I
Right.
want to work with my clients more. I don't want to be doing some of the other stuff like checking emails. I mean, because right now, you know, checking and responding to emails responsively, or handling customer concerns responsibly, right now there's still a person that needs to do a lot of these things. So while AI, we include AI in our services so that we can help and move faster,
Right.
but it has not eliminated what we do on a regular basis.
Okay. Great. How many individuals are on your team currently?
How many what now? I'm sorry, the phone went out.
How many individuals are on your team or on your staff currently?
We have about 17 members.
Okay. And what is your process of finding assistance to handle the variety of tasks that you guys offer?
Well, it kind of depends. I have a few people that I reach out to see if they have anyone that they can refer.
Okay.
And then a lot of times people reach out to me and they ask me about my virtual assistant course. So I do have a course
Okay.
that I offer for people who want to become virtual assistants.
Okay.
So I train as well. I don't do it all the time because it's not a focus, but if someone wants to learn, then I definitely want to be their olive branch and say, okay, I got you. Send me a DM. I'll send you over the course. You know, you can become a VA in 30 days. It's going to help sharpen your skills. It's going to teach you how to become a VA and to help you get your first client. So I do help with that.
Awesome. Amazing. All right. So, in what ways do you leverage your communication skills in managing and growing your virtual assistant agency?
I leverage it more than likely. I would say social media.
Okay.
It has been a major impact as far as our communications go. It is one of the main ways that we reach our audience. I do in-person networking from time to time, but social media is 90% of the ways that we reach our clients.
Okay.
We do have an email strategy where we cold email some entrepreneurs that fit our target audience
All
to
right.
see if they want the service. And that actually works because we can send out 200 emails a week and we'll get, booked appointments with someone saying, hey, you know what? I would love your service. So we do get that. It's one of the, it's a way too, but I always tell people all the strategies work, right? Every single one that you hear, they all work. You just have to find the one that works best for you.
Okay. Which social media platforms are do you get the best hits, or do you get the most client responses, or upcoming deals, for lack of a better word?
Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook is my playground. I would like for it to be LinkedIn. And I have my LinkedIn is it's churning along because I've just so used to Facebook. I'm like, I know where everything is at. I can go here, I can go there. I know where my clients are at. And with LinkedIn, I was a little bit late to the party, but LinkedIn say will come in second place.
Okay. Okay. Uh, let's change gears a little bit. So balancing motherhood with entrepreneurship is clearly not easy for anybody.
Mm-mm.
So how do you manage and juggle the responsibilities of being a mother of three while running a successful business?
Well, it's definitely not easy, but I get up at 5 a.m., believe it or not. I get up at 5 a.m. and I do a ritual. I journal, I may do yoga, I read, I I clean my area, my room, I clean my room, make my bed every day. So and I call that my self-care.
Okay.
So I spend that time alone without anyone else getting up. It's the reason why I do that because I don't want anybody else to be up with me. And then I listen to a meditation.
Okay.
The same one every day. It is very inspirational. So it helps me to get in the right mindset for the day. Um, and then once that is over, I begin with one child. Start with one, okay? I begin with one, and she has the earliest schedule for school, so I start with that one, and so I take the individual time to kind of talk with her, and then I get the second one up. And then I take the individual time to talk with him. And then my third one, which is my oldest, with her, she's already been raised, so I don't have to raise her in air quotes. I just have to guide.
Okay.
So I just provide my guidance based on the conversations that we have, and I'm like, okay, so I wouldn't do that, but I would do this. So it's different. Because I tell my smaller kids what to do, and I guide my third child, which is the first child, on how to do or what I would do.
Okay.
So by no means has it been easy, but I do have a routine. So I think routine is the key to it all. I run a tight ship. I am, I guess I wouldn't say military style, but discipline, and I guess the word may be structure.
Oh, yes.
Is probably the best thing that my kids have, because I don't have, they don't give me issues
Mhm.
as of yet, knock on wood. Um, Structure in which I think the structure sets them up for expectation of what to expect during a school week. On the weekends, I don't care.
Okay.
Have your fun as long as you do what you're supposed to do. But I believe that the structure has allowed me to be in my position without me being so stressed out.
Okay. So your personal time, is it typically an hour long?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, anytime that for whatever reason something gets you out of that routine, is there anything that you have to do to kind of hone yourself back in, or maybe get into that, back into routine, or how does that work?
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes I have to meditate. I'm a meditation type of person. So sometimes I meditate or sometimes I take a walk. So
Okay.
I love nature.
Mhm.
So I'll take a walk in the middle of the day. I'm like, I need to go for a walk. So I'll go for a walk and I'll walk around my complex and I feel a lot better. Fresh air does wonders for a reset.
Mhm. Okay. So hopefully this isn't spilling too much information, but you were born in Tennessee and raised in Tennessee, and now you live in a much sunnier climate. Do you think that's beneficial for you, being out in the sunshine, more vitamin C? Is this can you tell the differences in yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The It's a huge difference from both areas.
Mhm.
It's you can smell the ocean from here. You
Okay.
can, because the water is just, it's huge. I only live about 15 minutes away from the ocean, so
Okay.
you can smell it,
Mhm.
and it's when you the fresh air is just like, oh my goodness. It just makes you want to go to the beach every day.
Yeah.
That's really what it does. It's addicting. Okay. It's addicting. I was already walking around last week. I was like, I'd be glad when it gets a little warmer,
Mhm.
so that is my happy place.
Okay.
So to have a happy place to just go and just, I'm like, this is it. I got my umbrella. I got my chairs. Hey,
Mm.
grab me a book. I love it. That's my favorite time. So yeah, it's a big difference. It does help with I guess I would say even attitude, because
Mm.
it's almost like it's no, I wouldn't say different persona, but it's almost like you just feel different. And I like it. I like it. I think that my kids have a difference too, and they're more open. I think it's something about being near water
Mhm.
that's healing.
Yes. And then just that sunshine and just beautiful climate is. I'm born and raised in Michigan, but every time I head out to Nevada and I'm in that Vegas climate, even though it's
Yeah.
so hot sometimes, especially in the summer when I used to work there in the summer, but I loved
Mhm.
it. I think it was just it. I'm just so much happier. It seems like that's the type of climate I need to be in. So hopefully one day I get
Yes.
out there and live out there, or maybe just have a home and I can come to and from, because I don't know if I necessarily want to be out there year round. But I agree. There's something
Yeah.
being in that warm and the sun that does something to you. Mhm.
Mhm.
So we teased this a little bit in the intro, but tell us about your passion for writing and being featured in Essence magazine. Do you incorporate writing into Fancy Freelancers?
I'm sorry. Okay, so writing has been one of my passions. And Can you see me?
Yeah, you're good.
I thought I was frozen. Okay. So it has been one of my passions. I started writing when I was about 15 years old.
Okay.
And I remember I don't remember what I wrote, but whatever I wrote, my mom thought it was amazing. And she wanted to put it in the newspaper. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, please, please don't do that. That is the most embarrassing thing. My friends are going to see. I don't want anybody to know I did that. And I was like, I'm not gonna write anything else, But I did write. I've always expressed, and I have a very creative imagination. So, um, I remember that when I was transitioning from my permed hair as a African American woman, I had a perm when I was younger,
Okay.
and I no longer wanted to wear permed hair.
Okay.
And it's actually a thing. And at this time, it was, I want to say, a revolution because a lot of women were considering going all natural. And this was about 2011.
Okay.
So it was a boom coming where black women were, we call taking back our power. And the stylist that I was going to, she was not very supportive. I was no longer going to be going to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her telling me that I would look ugly if I decided to wear my hair in dreads or locks, however, um, people want to say the term. I say them both, so either one doesn't offend me. And I was like, taken aback, and I didn't think that at all. I wanted something different. I felt called to do what I was doing, so I assumed I was, in the right.
Right.
Um, I remember Essence Magazine put out a filler, and they asked if anyone had any experience with it, and I shared the same story I'm sharing with you, and she
Okay.
was like, I can't believe that. And I was like, that's what she told me, and they ended up publishing that article. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, we're gonna publish it. So it's, yeah, Essence Online, it's where it's at. So yeah, that was my experience. That was right before the boom
Okay.
happened. So
What about
but
go ahead.
no, I know you asked me about how did I incorporate writing into Fancy Freelancers. So writing I use writing as a way to get to the heart and the soul.
Mm-hmm.
And while I do use AI, I don't always use AI when I am communicating with my target audience.
Okay.
While I do appreciate AI, don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but however, I like to use my own brain.
Yeah,
I like
that's
to
a
use
good
my
step.
own brain to,
Yeah.
yeah, to get my words out because I have my own experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and I know the things that I've went through as a business owner, and the
Right.
things that I've seen my clients experience, the current ones that I have and the ones that who have came to me, so I know what they're feeling. So I use my content um as a platform to promote my business.
Okay.
And you can use any content for that. But it is definitely something that I think everyone should use a content strategy, because at some point of time you want to be able to touch the person that who is reading and say, you know what, I feel that. I think that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times, as small business owners, we are the brand. And a lot of the times, you don't want to be looked at as just an AI generated
Right.
stock photo,
Right.
because that may not always reach the person you want it to reach. While you may have some brand recognition, it
Mm-hmm.
may not convert that person from a looker onto a client.
Right. Okay.
So that is how I use my content now.
Okay. Have you ever considered writing um, like a book of your journey or your experience or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. I toggle with the idea back and forth, and behind the scenes, I have a small book that I'm working on, but I haven't quite committed. I always have all of these projects on my shoulders, so it's not a forefront project, but it may be something that may be happening in the near future.
Okay. It's is it do you write almost for like for therapy almost or is it almost or I guess what I'm getting at is that do you write for yourself and are you more so maybe a little bit nervous to put it out there because you don't know how people will perceive it or whether they'll like it or not? And is it more so just for you personally or is it something for you want to share to the world?
Is that far as the book or far as my content period?
Either or both.
Well, the book is, I'm not shy about that. I just haven't taken the time to write all the chapters out.
Okay.
Now, content goes, no, not necessarily. Um, I don't have a shyness that comes with that. Now, I sometimes have reservations about my photos because I want everything to be, absolutely perfect. But I try to dismiss that because I never want to appear as perfection.
Okay.
I want to appear as a real person
Okay.
with imperfections. And one of the reasons why I posted one of the photos today, because it wasn't actually a real photo. Like, my daughter is in the living room and she has a air mattress in the living room, and I posted that. Like, that was, to me, like, that's my real life, because we're doing what we're doing and it is what it is,
Okay.
and I have no shame on that. But at the same time, that's an imperfect photo in the world of perfection.
Yes.
But I try to make sure that I am releasing that, because that is something that held on to me in my earlier years when I first started in business. I just wanted everything to be perfect. If it ain't perfect, then, but that kind of stops you from growing.
Hmm.
And I never want to put myself in a position where I'm limiting myself or stopping myself from growing.
Okay. All right. Great. So perseverance is key in entrepreneurship. Can you share a challenging moment you faced in building your virtual assistant agency and how you overcame it?
I probably had 10,000 challenging moments, but let me find one. So a challenging moment that I faced last year was maybe like the year before last. Anyways, a challenging moment that I faced was I started my business. It was kind of just me as a freelancer.
Okay.
And a freelancer is just someone who doesn't work for anybody, but can work for anybody.
Hmm.
And I had to, in order for me to grow, I had to either clone myself,
Hmm.
which clearly did not happen, or I had to hire other people to work the clients that I brought in.
Hmm.
So, because I would tie myself up.
Oh, we lost you again.
I have 4 or 5 clients, and I am busy. I'm tied up. I
Right.
don't have the time to market. I don't have the time to bring on new clients. So when clients fall off and drop off, I'm like, oh, let me go back and market again. But your pipeline should never dry up.
Hmm.
You always want to keep your pipeline going and going and going, because if you lose one client, if you've been pumping your pipeline, then another client will be back in before you know it, because
Right.
you never stopped the grind.
Right.
So I was faced with deciding if I'm going to continue to just solo freelance or am I going to actually bring in a team to
Okay.
help me? And I love, like, I'm so passionate about being a virtual assistant. Like, that is just like my thing. I love to see entrepreneurs grow. Like, I'm like rooting so hard. I'm like, what can I do to help? Okay, you want me to do that? Good, got you. I'm just like, hey, and I'm so happy about it. So to let that go, to let somebody else do it, was almost like, you better do it right. If you don't do it right, I'm coming
Yeah.
in.
Okay. That was
So it was almost
my
like mama bear, you
Mhm.
know,
Okay. Was it, what was it
the
like
mama
give,
bear.
what was it like trusting someone else and bringing else someone else on to represent you and your team, and at the same time you expected the same um, execution and the same type of work ethic and excellence that you were doing? How hard was it to trust and find someone else to do the same job?
Extremely. Extremely hard. And so I position myself as a project manager. So I would oversee, I would check their work, I would set up like a mutual Trello board, is what we use for task management.
Mhm.
And I have access to the board as well as the virtual assistant. So I can make sure everything is getting done.
Okay.
I created, as I grew, I created communication channels. I sent out, weekly emails to the client. I check in with the virtual assistant. I created a group chat for all the assistants. I started creating more and more communication to try to make sure the barrier is broken down when we're all understanding and we're all on the same page. And that has been my biggest struggle, to make sure we're all on the same page with everything. However, I have a solution for that. But I think that my solution I've come up with has been to create an app for fancy freelancers, which I am working on, which is my
Okay.
current project, which is why I'm not writing the book.
All right.
So in the background, I am working on this app. I am not the most technical person in the world, but I am one of the most committed
Yeah.
people in the world. So I am going to have it done in a few months time. So that is one of the things that I feel that will bridge the gap so that we're seamless. I am creating where the clients and the freelancers will be holding hands, singing kumbaya, and that will answer a lot of questions, and that will also take me a little bit out the middle
Okay.
and put me more so as a CEO,
All right.
more so than the project manager than where I'm at right now. So I am seeing a growth as we are coming up on our 5 years.
All right. Congrats, congrats. Are you going to do
Thank
anything
you.
to celebrate the 5 year mark?
Yes, I don't know what that is.
Well, we got time to think. When is the official date?
October the 9th.
October the, oh, you said your birthday. Okay. Um, ooh, I have a question. Are all of
Uh-huh.
is your team local? Are they just in the States? Or are they across the globe?
They are everywhere.
Okay.
My team is absolutely everywhere. They're international, they're national. I cater to what my client wants. If they want someone, find them someone. If they don't mind someone outside of the United States that can speak great English, then I have that for them as well. So I'm versatile, I'm open, and I vouch for all of my virtual assistants as well.
Okay. All right. Have you or do you plan to travel, and because if they're global, I'm sure you'd have never met some of them, right? Do you ever plan to
Yeah.
go and meet them in in their environment, and maybe find some
Yes.
clients in different different areas that you haven't been to before?
I would love to. It's definitely on the to-do list. I can't say it'll be 2024, perhaps 2025. We can get some things shaken.
Okay. All right, that would be awesome. Then you can create content on your trips as well. That's all.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, well, you answered pretty much my last question. What you're working on in the future? That's definitely the app that you're working for. So this will be kind of our closing question. So, as a successful entrepreneur, what advice do you have for individuals looking to start their own businesses, especially those who may be balancing family life as well?
Well, if you're looking to start your own business, decide what you want to do,
Hmm.
whether you're selling products or whether you want to sell services.
Okay.
So, if you're into products, that's great. Then you need to find a mentor,
Hmm.
someone that can talk with you, someone that can walk you through, even if it's a free mentor. There are several free mentor programs out. I am a mentor as well, and I mentor through SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit organization where we help new entrepreneurs and existing entrepreneurs in their journey. So even if you don't join that, you may want to find a business coach or a coach in your niche of
Yeah.
what you want to do so that you're not wasting a lot of time. I'm
Yeah.
not saying, oh, invest $20,000 into someone. What I am saying is find someone who has walked that road, and so that you're not picking everything up from scraps off the internet and piecing it together.
Okay.
Get as much as you can from the people that are around you, and you should surround yourself with people who are on the same path and page that you're on.
Okay.
Your surroundings matter. If you have people around you that ain't doing, and I said ain't, that ain't doing nothing, that's doing the opposite of
Yeah.
what you are doing, then that is not going to encourage you. It's going to discourage you.
Yeah.
Um,
That was a bar right
and what
there.
was your second question?
Um, um, helping others are basically they have a family life as well. So they it's not just like myself. I'm a single man. I'm just focused on one thing, but you have family to worry about as
Mhm.
well. How do you balance that?
Well, having a work life balance is so odd because I posted that today. Having a work life balance is very, very important. You want to be able to still show your family love without neglecting them. Therefore, you need to set boundaries. Therefore, you need to set a schedule. You may not be able to just freely go and come as you want to, as people would think, oh, you're an entrepreneur, you can do what you want. Well, you can technically, but if you have a schedule, then you're at least getting what needs to be done in the allotted time.
Right.
Don't be afraid to put yourself on a schedule. Don't be afraid to do things differently than what someone else does. People may not get up at 5 a.m. They might not feel the need to because they say they're their own boss. They don't have to. They can get up at 11 a.m. and start working if they want to, which is also true. However, I believe the early bird gets the worm.
Okay.
I believe in getting yourself prepared and getting yourself ready. So if you can start working at 5 a.m. if you choose to work, and if you have children, your children have to be at school at 8, you can work from 5 to 7.
Right.
Let's say you're working and doing your business. Well, when I worked at Drive Time, I had a business. It wasn't this one, but I had a business then. I worked early in the morning and late at night. I
Okay.
worked from 5 a.m. till it was time for me to leave the house. If whether that was 8, whether that was 9 a.m. And then when I got out of work at 9 a.m., 9 p.m., I worked from 9:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. midnight.
Okay.
So there is a will, there is a way.
Okay.
You will figure it out, you will make the way, but don't neglect your family, because one thing for sure, love wins at the end of this thing. So that's what you're doing it for. You're doing it for your loved ones. You're doing it to build your generational wealth. You're
Yeah.
doing this so that you can have the freedom that you desire. So don't forget your people, because they're with you. So carry them with you on the journey. They'll appreciate it, they'll learn from it. And hey, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then your kids, if you want to pass the business on to them, or if they want to work in the business alongside you, I'm sure you would be glad to work side by side with your children.
I would.
Mhm. All right. 45 minute mark in, so that's perfect. Your alarm's going off. So we
It sure is.
yeah. So let's close out the interview. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I truly appreciate it. I have a front row seat to watch you and your journey. Hopefully, I'll be around in October so I can pop some bottles with you, or you'll be around the family. We can go out to
Yay!
dinner and celebrate. But for anybody who wants to use your services or check on you with you on social media, where can they find you?
They can find me at www.fancyfreelancers.com. That is my website. And if you want to email me, you can email me at hello@fancyfreelancers.com. And you can also find me on Facebook. Just type in my name when you go to Facebook, and I am under Candace Thomas. So yeah, send me a DM, send me an email, or check out my website and book a free consultation. I'll be happy to chat with you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the viewers. Hopefully you were entertained and as well got a lot of knowledge. I know she dropped some bars in here, especially at the end. So make sure you write it down and hit her up on social media. Tell her thanks, and then use her services as well. All right, guys. Till next time. Have a wonderful evening. Peace.
Thank you.